Hi, I'm Mitchell. Got a question for you today. Have you ever gotten to a point where you say, you know what, it's time to end this and I just got to move away from it, or I got to move on, or I need to make some changes? A few weeks ago, I finally came to a decision based on an epiphany. I have a website. I actually still have that website, and it is going to expire in March. And I have been trying for almost 10 years to turn this website into something special, and I never did. I tinkered with it. I did all kinds of things with it. I thought I was going to make all kind of money from it. Ain't happening. Just it's not going to fly. And I finally realized after almost 10 years, I was putting way too much time into it or trying to think of what to do with it. And I have decided I'm going to let it go. I'm just going to let it expire, and when it goes, and maybe someone else will buy it and turn it into something special or not. You know what? I ain't got time anymore. It's time to move on after 10 years. That it took me 10 years makes me want to kick myself in the behind. Kind of like this candle, which you might have seen in the thumbnail. I have had this for about 4 years. I burned it down pretty much when I got it. And it still smells good, but really, what am I going to do with this? I can't light it anymore. It won't light. It doesn't have almost anything still in it, even though it has that little scent. And I've just been moving things around here in my office and putting it in different places. You're not going to see this, but it just went in the garbage. Sometimes we try to hang on too long to things. It may be our dreams, it may be certain papers, it may be certain pictures. It could be almost anything. And it helps us if we can get to a point where we will release things that aren't giving us any benefit sooner rather than later. You know, that's one of the things about clutter. As I'm spending some time trying to clean things out of my own office as well as my mother's house, I'm looking at a lot of stuff and saying, my God, how many years of stuff can we have? I mean, I'm finding stuff at my mom's house that's 30 years old. Not that I should say anything, because I found stuff in my house that's 20 years old, and I've only been in this house 16 years. So, you know, we will tend to hang on to things. I've got files on my computer that go back to 1997, and that's ridiculous because some of those things, there aren't even programs anymore to run it or to open them. And it's just time to really get rid of some of that stuff. Now, that stuff is minor, but there are other things that we hang on to. We hang on to beliefs that are never going to come true. We hang on to like heroism of certain people who fail us, and we let them take chance after chance after chance, and then it just goes away. We have all these different things that kind of come at us. Sometimes you hang on to friends who aren't friends anymore. We hang on to people who aren't good for us anymore. And we have to be willing to say, you know what, I am beyond that, and it's time to move on. I did a interview on one of my other blogs with a guy named Dr. Imad Rahim. And I was reading his book that he gave me, talking about how he progressed from basically a street kid. I mean, he was actually in Cambodia as a refugee, as a 3-year-old. He was in an internment camp, in essence. And he found his way to the United States, found his way to Syracuse area, which is where I live, was in a gang, sold drugs, did all kind of bad stuff. Found a way to get out of that. And then he has moved back to this area, and he's trying to help change things in the community. And he ran into someone who he used to hang with, who used to be a drug dealer, who was still a drug dealer. And he still thought of the man as a friend of his until the man basically exhibited some things. He says, no, you know what? I now have all this education. I've traveled around the world. I've done TED Talks. I've written books. This is not my life anymore. And the guy said he had changed and had sold out. But he realized, you know what? I have to kind of let go of that life. I have to let go of those friends, because those weren't really friends. Those are people who are trying to bring me down to their level. I need to be at a different level. So that's what today's conversation is really about. What are you holding on to that you really need to let go? Is it something mental? Is it something physical? Something personal? Maybe it's just something you think is personal but isn't. Give it a little bit of thought. Anyway, My name is Mitch Mitchell. I haven't said that in a while. I hope you have a wonderful week.